Can y'all see me?
Yeah.
Am I like
Looks
okay? All right.
You have better lighting than I do right now.
Yep.
Because I'm all backlit.
You're all backlit.
It is 2:54. I promise you I'm not this holy.
Oh gosh. Pitch meeting.
Ooh. What, you're watching it?
No, well, he's got a new channel.
Oh, yeah,
Like he
the
broke away
spin-off.
from Screen Rant,
Yeah.
and got his own channel. He's already got 500,000 subscribers.
God,
It's been
bless
like
America.
days.
Yeah. He's legitimately funny on pretty much every video.
Yeah.
It's sickening, actually. And a lot of the concepts.
500,000 in just a couple days. I mean,
That's
obviously
absurd.
he did like
Yeah.
pre-established fan base.
Yeah.
And so that helps. But
Yeah.
it's so funny because I like, the thought just left my head. Whatever. Pitch meeting, 500,000 subscribers in a couple days. That's great. A couple days ago, this is kind of exciting. I gained a subscriber.
What?
Yeah.
Did you get like a special notification from
Congrats.
like vidIQ?
I know. It's like, it's very rare for me to have a day where I actually gain a subscriber. I think I lost like 30 today, 30 more subscribers today.
Really?
Yeah.
So I would guess that you're not actually losing subscribers.
Really? It's almost become this humorous thing where just to entertain myself, I'll open up YouTube Studio and I'll pull down to refresh and just watch the number go down, 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 down. Like this morning I had 980. Right now I have 911. Gosh. Let me refresh.
I'm wondering if that is YouTube on the back end cleaning up accounts.
Yeah, it's possible.
All those kid accounts.
That or ghost accounts. Ones that aren't legit.
If I were to start a second YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I like that one because I could talk about my other YouTube channel that nobody knows about.
That's what I just came up with now, so I'm hoping.
Yeah. I would restart my other YouTube channel.
I am starting a second one, so I get to talk about that.
Really?
Yep.
So for those in the chat, we're doing a Q&A episode tonight. So if you have any Qs you want us to A,
If you have a Q that you matched up with an A. That was really lame. Never mind. Ignore me.
okay. You should use that picture that
Yes. Luis.
as your thumbnail now
What picture?
The Luis
that you
one?
posted today on your stories
Oh, yeah. That was really cool.
with the laser glasses and everything.
It's weird every now and then when he'll do something like that and just send me the picture. I'm like, oh, all right, thanks. Some little stuff that he does that I don't even think about doing.
Yeah.
It's cool you got somebody actively like doing that stuff for you.
We are streaming.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
Actually, Domicile Artisan has an interesting idea, saying it makes you think of watching the stock market. If YouTube channels were stocks, what stock would you invest in?
I feel like we've done that one too.
We've made the comparison several times before. I know. I mean, come on, 254 episodes. We're gonna.
Oh yeah, we're
lapping ourselves.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're lapping ourselves.
It's an interesting verb.
Yeah.
So there was a podcast that I used to listen to a lot, which is funny because I can't even remember the name of it, but it was with the guy who used to be the host of Talk Soup, not the comedian
Joel
that
McHale? No.
Not Joel McHale. I think he was Talk Soup before Joel McHale, and then he became like a MTV personality, and then he became like a. Anyways, he had this really famous podcast, and then his ex-girlfriend accused him of like just being an abusive boyfriend, and then he fell out and he lost the podcast, but then he. What's the name of it?
That could be anybody in Hollywood.
I know. I don't even know how to Google that. There'd be like 1,000 different whatever.
Did you hear that Steve Ramsey had Neil Patrick Harris on his podcast?
No.
Really?
You know what that means? He's up for grabs now.
As
a DIY podcasts. He's a father. He is now a maker. And he is a geek. Might be an interesting guest spot.
If you know somebody that knows him, like put the word out.
I know Joel, but that's
that would be Joel does lives like almost every day on his
he's
TikTok.
doing Twitch now, too.
Oh, he's doing Twitch now too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send him to our press junket.
Yeah, that's right.
I finally threw away all my press junkets from the last Workbench Con.
I mean, we could also. I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's not a good idea. I was gonna do like an insider like brainstorming session for next Workbench Con puzzle creation.
Oh, I had ideas about that. It was more about the basic ARG rather than the underlying ARG. I'm so I had another class start, and so I'm doing like class and homework and
2 sheets to the wind.
Yeah, probably more than 2 at the moment, but yeah.
I would prefer to stay away from Workbench Con talk for a little while if possible.
That's fair.
Just kind of mix it up a little bit. We have a unique small little break in between Marvel and Star Wars shows.
Yeah, that's true.
So we have a chance to talk about some other things and mix it up.
Good point. So we talk about Star Wars. Star Trek.
Did you see the Neil Patrick Harris video on doing canvas prints with him and his partner's face?
Mm-hmm.
It's 3D printing the frame. Is that part of the project that he was doing with Joel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Were they using a continuous 3D printer? Is that how they're making a frame with it?
I believe he did. Yeah. He
Yeah.
used them mounted to the walls. So they were just like printing it down into the ground, kind of. He mounted them sort of like 90 degrees, so they just kind of spit out vertically, if I remember correctly. He had a whole bunch of them on the wall.
So as of right now, I think we have about 4 questions or so that we have not like fully tackled, which is possibly enough. But another option is, and it kind of depends on us individually, just having a random geek out session if there's enough things that you've been watching or looking at that are worth talking about.
My pants. I'm not joking. That's what I'm geeking out about this week. My pants.
Your pants?
I could talk about it later, yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready when you're ready, though.
Clearly.
I kind of prefer to know what direction we're going to go first, though.
Well, we can talk about what we've been working on, because I've been working on a lot of stuff. So that'd be. And Wes is gonna get a whole bunch of time to like work on stuff or play games or whatever if he wants to. We could talk.
Yeah, I'll be talking in the future tense because I didn't get anything done this week.
Is there a reason why you're going to be able to?
Is there a reason I'll be able to get things done?
No, the way you're talking made it sound like there's going to be a reason where you would have a lot of time in order to be able to do it for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about it.
Oh, okay. So we just going to figure it out live like we usually do?
Yeah.
All right. I'm up for that then too. We tend to find our way.
Yep. I mean, you do some sort of board games again. I like that. Or trivia.
That would be fun. I played that Blockbuster trivia game with a couple friends.
How was that?
It was really fun. We only scratched the surface of some of those. Yeah.
It's on sale for like $8 on Amazon right now.
Really? It's pretty fun.
Were there late fees?
You have to rewind it.
Okay.
Put all the cards back in their order. All right.
Good to go. Levels are good.
Hands off the table.
Hands off the tables.
Yeah, it might have been me last time, and I don't even think I realized it. So I've been really fidgety lately. Sorry. Okay, I am ready. What's up, Internet? You're listening to the Making Geeks podcast, the podcast for makers, families, and geeks.
Hey, I'm a geek.
I am too.
What's up, Donovan?
Hey, Wes, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah. We were both so excited, we just had to talk at the same time.
Every time.
Every time.
I'm like, there's a little bit. I'm gonna give a little bit of time. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Nope. Okay.
We should almost build in a mic delay for one of you.
We should. So
what you guys have been up to this week? This warm, disgusting week here in Southern California that's 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been pretty rainy here. What have I been up to this week? Not too much making, unfortunately. We're getting our kitchen somewhat remodeled. So we're having to choose like cabinets. Do we get new cabinets? Do we reface the current cabinets? Do we get new appliances? We got a new fridge. Do we get all the different discussions that go into all that stuff? Some of them are more exciting, and some of them my wife is more excited about than I am. Other ones I'm indifferent to. So it's a fun discussion, and so I've been running all over the place this week. Either we had appointments with like different people coming to see the kitchen to possibly be the people that redo it or what have you, and running all over. What else?
Is that remodel based on a certain visit you had in July?
It didn't help. It didn't help. So what he's referring to is Josh from I Like to Make Stuff fame, among other channels. He along with the other podcast mates here with you guys came to visit, and my wife bent his ear for a number of hours talking about kitchen stuff, and he subsequently modeled my entire kitchen in Fusion 360 and gave her like a crash course on Fusion 360 stuff. And yeah, that sort of started down the rabbit hole. So it's going to be an investment. We're still looking at, there's like so many options. It's sort of analysis paralysis after a while, but we're going to have that. We're redoing our back deck. It's going to be completely redone. There's like a retaining wall that holds up the deck. That's going to be completely torn down and redone because it's somewhat aged. And there's just a lot of things in limbo right here. I've got like puppy classes, trying to train him, and I've got like my son started baseball this week, so I'm like jockeying kids all over the place and running Samantha to different appointments, and it's just a lot. So I didn't get
so
any
in other words,
work
you're being a father.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm leaning heavier into the father aspect of it. I guess you could put it that way, including to canine puppies. So, as opposed to non-canine puppies, I guess. Yeah. So I don't really have any making news. I wish I did. So I usually get kind of grumpy by the end of the week where I don't get to make anything, or like I don't have enough time left in the day to like, because I know I have to have a certain amount of hours to sort of decompress and kind of get in that mindset based on different things I'm trying to do, whether especially programming or soldering electronic stuff. If I don't have a solid number of hours to like kind of dive in, I can't really do it very effectively because I just feel like I'm going to get interrupted at any moment, and it's hard to kind of like focus for me. So yeah, this weekend the family's going to be out of town, so hopefully I'll be able to get some making done and maybe take a break and play some games, which I haven't done at all this year, honestly. Besides at Workbench Con where we played a little bit here and there in between sessions, but yeah.
Oh, so that's why you were asking about Minecraft.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Hey.
for those of you that are listening, if you're interested in playing some games, become a patron, log into our Discord. We're going to play some Minecraft and maybe some other games this weekend. Some special modes that are kind of unique that I've tested out with a friend of mine. Actually, another patron, Jordan. So we played this one mode that is really fun. I'm not going to really divulge it so people don't kind of look into it. But if you have time this weekend, look us up. And in fact, we should probably do like a charity house or something, like we do like the game-a-thons over a weekend. I think that would be kind of cool if we have enough like lead time. What do you guys think about that?
I think so too. Yeah.
Not this weekend.
Not this weekend. Like I said, with enough lead time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We can do like live streams and maybe have like the multi-screen kind of setup, and it'd be kind of like a LAN party across the country, or across the world.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. For charity or something.
Yeah. So I've been I've been the adverse of Wes this week, I guess. I've been working on stuff, which has been great. There's a super secret project that I've been working on for a while now. But all the pieces have been cut out, and I'm at the assembly stage of the project. So I'm recreating another building from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it looks great. It is so cool. It is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be small enough that when I need to pack this in a box and ship it off, it's not going to be too big a hassle. That is not the case, because it's like 3.5 feet deep. It's like 2.5 feet wide. And once I get like the second level and the roof on it, it's going to be like 2.5 feet tall. This thing is massive. It's made out of 1/4-inch plywood. So it's not like heavy, or it's not going to be heavy. But it's been interesting gluing it together. I've got to figure out like the paints and stains to go on it, and the weathering and all the extra like little details like I like to put into stuff.
Is it 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch plywood?
No, it's 1/4 inch.
It's pretty thick.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I CNC'd it. I didn't laser cut all of this. I CNC'd it so the pieces could be bigger. Like the biggest piece I have, I think, is this floor piece, which is like 16 by 16 for one section of like flooring and decorations and stuff like that. But it's just so cool seeing something that like was an idea and then was a model and then was just a bunch of like random pieces stacked up together, and now it's like actually being assembled into something. And and so I've been working on that, and in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out what my next project video is going to be. And my youngest goes and stays with my parents a lot out at their farm, because my brother and his girls go and visit, and so all the girls get to play together and have a good time. And she has a game there that is like from the 70s, I think, maybe the early 80s. It's called Count a Color. Have you guys ever heard of this?
No.
So it's a very simple game. All it is that it's a bunch of multicolored piece, like different colored pieces, and then there's a die, and then there's a different color in each side of the die. And then there's different cards that have little circles cut out in different colors on the picture. And so all you do is you roll the die, and whatever color comes up on the die, you take that colored piece and find the matching color slot on the picture. And you could play it like a game where you each roll the die, and whoever like fills up all the colors on their picture first wins or whatever. Or you could just play it however you want to play it. My 3-year-old loves that game so much. It is insane how much she loves this game, and it's so simple that she gets it. And so I was like, this would be really cool to take and make like Super Mario pictures out of. Same concept and everything like that, where you have a die with a different color in each side of the die, and they can roll the die and then take that colored piece and put it on Mario's hat, or Luigi's button, or Waluigi's kneecap, or whatever. And so that is going to be, I decided that's going to be my next project video, is coming up with my own geeky version of this old 1970s kids game that I think would be really fun, and I know my 3-year-old would enjoy, and hopefully more than just my 3-year-old. And so I've been working on that too, and that's been really fun. So I've actually been working on projects. I'm trying to get back into the flow of coming out with a video every week. It's been a little hit and miss, but I'm getting back into a flow of things, so it's been great.
I'm working on several things all at once right now. I put out a video last Saturday, which was a review / showing of a laser that I got, first diode laser. And then I'm actually working on my garage cabinets now. I have almost all the materials, except that the trouble is that the full sheets of plywood I ordered from a company that is kind of like by where I live right here. The only problem is that I cannot fit a full sheet of plywood in either of my cars. So I need to rent a truck to go pick it up. And the place is only a mile from my house too. But the problem is I have to try to get out of work early enough to go rent the truck and then go pick up the plywood. And the place closes at 5. So it's kind of like this game of trying to get out here. And I haven't been able to pick it up yet. So hopefully next Monday I'll have that wood and I'll get those started. Yeah, that's going to be a sponsored video. I'll finally have garage cabinets. I don't think it'll take me that long to build. It's a fairly simple construction, but I probably shouldn't say that because things always take longer than I think they're going to.
Right.
I have the fusion model. I have all the dimensions worked out. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be optimistic, but I'm gonna try to have that video done by the end, or at least the build done by the end of next week, and then hopefully a day or two to edit, because I told my rep that I would have the video out during spring break, or my spring break was the first week of April. And then I have another laser that's in the mail right now that I'm gonna have to do another video for, and still deciding whether or not I'm gonna follow up on the third or fourth laser company that contacted me. And then maybe I'll actually get to make some stuff that I want to make, after that. So it's kind of weird having obligations in my videos, which I have not really had before. kind of realizing how spoiled I was with just being able to make whatever I want. Yeah,
how's your laser video doing? Like, is it performing?
horrible?
Oh, really?
Horrible.
Mm.
Horrible. It's like an average of 1 view per hour. It's horrendous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where the misstep is. I think that I probably missed out on that first day reaction. So there's something missing, being attractive enough in the thumbnail, drawing people in, and I think it just got buried now.
Have you tried like changing the title and changing the thumbnail and stuff?
Yep, I've changed the thumbnail 3 times.
Really?
Made incremental improvements on the one that I have right now. I don't have my face on the thumbnail, which I probably should, because I think I always get a better reaction when my face is on the thumbnail. Okay, so I took a picture.
Just try it.
I took a picture of myself. I took a picture of myself with a stupid face, like the shocked face, and I put it on the thumbnail, and I couldn't do it. I could not bring myself to upload it. And if I did it right now, I think I might have actually missed the opportunity to actually have any kind of real positive impact. I might do it just for the heck of it anyways, but yeah. It hurt. It hurt to even see it.
It hurt to, yeah, you couldn't bring yourself to do it. Does the company have its own social media handles and whatnot?
Yeah, I've been tagging.
No, but I mean, it's like, can they push it out on their social media to try and get?
It's through a third-party marketing company. So I don't know if they have direct access that way. I don't think they do.
Okay, interesting.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
but I don't know what their level of involvement or cooperation is with each other. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I mean, there has to be something because of the discounts and stuff, and the discount code that and the tracking that I was given to do it. But it almost feels more like imagine buying a product through Amazon, and that seller is your contact, as opposed to the company that makes the product. That's probably the best description I could give for the way this is set up. Now, on the other hand, for the next laser that I have coming, I'm working directly with a rep from the company.
Okay. So it'd be easier for them to like push out the content that you're helping to promote for them.
I'm hoping they do. Yeah. And out of all the different laser companies out there, this is one of the 2 that I really want to work with. So the one coming up, at least. Yeah. So, well, cool. A little bit uncharted ground for me. I'm still trying to learn how to be more effective in some of the communication, because overseas communication can be challenging sometimes. And I had like 1 or 2 small missteps with this too. And my video possibly could have been better. I'm still trying to figure out how to do an interesting type of review that doesn't look like everybody else's. And it's really difficult sometimes when you still have the same requirements for the video. I tried to throw 1 or 2 things in there that I thought was funny, but I don't think it was enough. So.
I actually watched it 3 times.
Really? Why?
To get kitschy views, man.
Oh, well.
Attention, watch time, hours. I click on all the links.
Well, look, I absolutely appreciate all of that. I just didn't know if there was another reason why. Like, why did you do that? Or like,
I'm supporting my friend.
Oh, I appreciate it. I didn't know if there was another like motivation behind it.
No.
And I'm always open to suggestions as well from, my 2 creative partners here.
Well, if you ever want me to test edit something for you, I would be happy to, because that's my life now, apparently.
or even just some suggestions. Actually, I do have questions about like audio and stuff that maybe I'll ask at a later time. I posted it in another Discord, but no one ever responded, because I know audio is an issue and kind of a turnoff in my video right now. It's something I have to actively try to fix. So that is what we've been doing this week. The question is, what are we doing tonight?
Questions.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a great question. Let's talk about questions.
Answers.
Yeah.
The first question I have is from David in the chat, and he says, Q&A tonight, huh? Yes. Yes, it is. What's our second question?
We got our first one out of the way.
Thank you.
Yep. That was easy. Some more like that, please.
Nailed it.
Yes. So out of the questions that have appeared in the chat, or the ones that we talked about before we started recording, is there one that you kind of caught your attention that maybe you'd want to start with? And I could do a recap of a couple of them too.
I like Scott's.
Yes.
Scott asks, what's the best way to burn a printer that won't level?
Is this a laser printer or a 3D laser printer?
I'm assuming it's a 3D printer.
Or is it an inkjet printer?
Yeah. I'm assuming it's a 3D printer, and I would love to burn my 3D printer because I have the worst luck with 3D printers. And it's so funny. Like I had a Ender 3 that I fixed up and gave my brother, and he couldn't get it to level. And so he gave it back to me. So now I have two 3D printers that don't work. I'm like, I could start a collection.
You should disassemble them and just build your own out of the parts.
I should.
Well, maybe I'll just trade you one of my lasers for one of your 3D printers.
I know.
Because in 2 weeks, I'm going to have like 5 lasers.
Yeah. Because you'll have your K40, your Glowforge, the something, and then the new one, right?
And I might have another K40 coming.
See, the best way to burn the printer that won't level, I say submerge the hot end in either gravy or butter while it's sitting on the hot plate, and just leave it alone for a couple hours and just see what happens. This is not professional advice. Do not do this at home. It just sounds like something that would be cool.
I don't think burning would actually present enough level of destruction.
Yeah.
I think you find somebody who has like a big truck and just start running over it.
Those videos of like people just running over things with their car. My kids found those videos.
Oh no.
And oh my gosh, they get the biggest kick out of people running over stuff with their car. And it's insane. Like 30 million views of like running over Orbeez with my car. It's like, what?
Destruction is popular.
Well, why do we even try? Yeah.
I know, right?
You know, I actually feel that way a lot. I feel that way a lot sometimes.
What, the why even try or what?
Yeah, I mean, not in a completely literal sense, but kind of like in this like existential kind of sense of, you know, I just put, 10 hours into the recording of a video. I put another 15 hours into the editing of a video for 200 views. I'm like, why am I doing that? I get kicked out of business school.
I know. Oh man, all my business classes yeah. Oh, we're doing everything wrong, guys.
Richmond Gervais said just buy an A-Net A8 and just use it. It'll probably catch fire. That's great.
Although it would be interesting to like see creative ways of using the parts of a 3D printer to make something else.
Yes.
Rather than another 3D printer that won't work.
Yeah, I mean, stepper motors are really, valuable. You have a heating element, so you can heat something up for various purposes.
Yep.
Ah, that would be like a good, how they have those like maker challenges or builder challenges or something like that. That would be a really unique one. It's like how to repurpose a 3D printer.
Oh, thanks, Scott. Sorry, I probably should have just typed that in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
No context whatsoever. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, guys.
If you want to know what we're talking about, you should be, part of the live show, and you can read the comments like we are and not providing any context. I think I just derailed that. Donna, what did you just say?
I don't remember. We should go on to the next question. We're doing Q&A tonight. If you have picked up on that already.
Actually, I remember what I was going to say, because we were still, just one more thing about the 3D printers.
Yeah.
So the idea of reusing some of the parts to make something else. Is there something that how would I put this? Because you have things like you can print with metal, wood, you have the PLA filament, you can do even like ceramics and stuff. Now, is there a material that you would love to be able to 3D print with that maybe isn't quite feasible yet or possible? Or printing a thing that is not quite there yet? Donovan shaking his head yes.
I'm waiting for Wes to respond because I don't want to talk over.
No, I'm not saying anything.
Food.
I mean, I was gonna say food, but chocolate is kind of done. What specifically? What food specifically?
So, MatPat, we talked about MatPat last time. MatPat put out a food theory video of, I think the title of the video was "You Can Taste This" video, talking about how they're using chemical stimulation of the tongue to like replicate taste without the calories. And so they're like, well, the next logical like step from this is to 3D print food that you can make to taste like anything. And I was like, that would be so cool. 3D print your, like, we're working up to a replicator.
What was a confusing future?
No. I think we should
Why
endeavor.
Does it broccoli taste like cotton candy?
We should try to 3D print a pizza. So I mean, you have like the pizza bots, so they can print basically a batter. It's only one step away from a dough, right? Could you like print like a circle for the dough? Basically, it's gonna taste like crap. Let's just be honest. But maybe you could, I don't know, because you can't knead it and like, which like typically dough is required to do.
And also they're working on lab grown meat, so it's
True.
only a matter of time before you put that in a tube and can squeeze it out on something.
I mean, it's a Slim Jim. A Slim Jim is basically filament in the correct form factor already. You got the sauce, which is already liquid. You could use string cheese or something, or was it like the squirt cheese, the nozzle, which is like
Cheese Whiz.
Cheese Whiz, yeah. Do a mozzarella Cheese Whiz, okay. Then do like a Slim Jim that's like oozing out like meat paste into like pepperoni slices. I mean, what's not to like, you guys?
Because it could go away, like in the comments, it could go away in the Jetsons where everything's just a pill, or it could go away like Fifth Element where everything's a pill, but that can, turn into.
Yeah, Back to the Future. Yep.
Yeah.
Bing! Oh, the Pizza Hut's ready. Okay. All right, let's get to the next question. We had one. I don't know who said it. This is a duplicate of one that we had already. What superpower would you have? Go.
Flight.
Would you have or do you have?
We already know what everybody already has. Let's see. Which one would you theoretically have? Flight? That's a hard one. It's a classic.
That is a classic.
I would rather have telekinesis, because then I could make myself fly and make other things fly.
Yeah, but I just want to fly above all the crap going on.
I could do that with telekinesis.
Have you guys seen Better Off Ted?
Of course.
Yeah, I know
West
West
has.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah. How they
Deleting markets.
Like supermarkets? That seems kind of lame.
And then move on to stock markets.
Okay. You gotta start small.
Yep.
I would just think like out of personality of the three of us, Wes is the most connected. So he would be more like the Lex Luthor, where he's like using his network for evil.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. It makes me want another, if you can call it a season, another iteration of Dr. Horrible.
Still never watched it.
Oh man, that's a crime.
It's so good.
It's a crime. Why? Why? Ugh.
Laundry Day is like a go-to song for us in the car. The kids are like, Laundry Day, Laundry Day.
I don't know if I would show Dr. Horrible to my kids. I don't know.
There are two parts that we have to skip by.
Talking about hammers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, it's innocent enough.
Captain Hammer in the beginning and Captain Hammer at the end. We have to skip by those parts.
Yeah.
But everything else was great.
Where is it even available? Was it Netflix? Was it?
It used to be just on a standalone
just on
website, but it's kind of been all kinds of different places. I'm not sure where it currently is.
I'll have to look it up. Maybe it's on
Yeah.
YouTube. I don't know.
I bought it on Blu-ray, so it's not an issue for me.
It is definitely worth watching.
It is.
What
All right.
reservations have you had about watching it?
I haven't had any.
Oh, you just
It is-
have never done it?
Well, because it was like on a website, it wasn't like on
Super
I don't know,
accessible.
TV or something like that. It's not really in my, it didn't really cross my field of vision,
Sure.
and I don't always seek things out that aren't within my normal channels. That's I had nothing against it. It just, yeah.
Gotcha.
What's next? What's on your list, Sean?
Let's see. We have a couple choices. If you were to start a second YouTube channel, what would it be about?
I'm interested in hearing your response, Sean.
I've talked about it before, though. It's not that interesting, but I am doing it, which is the board game channel. I already technically have a second channel. Oh, it's not active. I think it's only 2 or 3 videos on it. But I would love to do a very stylized board game channel of like how to play, but have all the videos like 5 minutes.
Oh, yes.
But I
Or
want all
a
the videos.
minute.
But I also want, I miss writing, and I haven't been able to sit down and write for a very long time. But I really want to do a style where it's really fast and snappy dialogue, not necessarily crude, but maybe having a little bit of a punch behind it. So I have an idea of like how to play Sorry in 5 minutes. Take out a box, find a trash can, put it in, light it on fire. Just and mix up some of the churchill ones like that, because like some of the games I hate. But then doing like an honest 5 minute, like how to play Catan in 5 minutes, if that's even possible. I don't know. And maybe I don't cover every single little bit about the game, but for the most part, people can get started or something with it.
See, I think that would be brilliant. And I say that because I was standing in Target the other day, and their board game section just keeps like it's like a clothing store where the women's department just slowly phases out.
Yeah, it's gotten so huge.
Yeah, it's gotten so huge that there's like 2 aisles now of just board games in our Target, which is awesome. But I'm like, I need like a YouTube video that's like less than a minute. So as me, as a person standing in Target being like, okay, how do you play this game? Do I want to play this game? Or like 1 minute reviews. Like maybe not like how to play the game, but like somebody like me standing in Target, like in front of 3,000 different board games saying it's like, okay, is this game good? Like, I think that would be brilliant. That would be so
Funny enough, I actually don't want to review them.
But but I'm just saying, like, even if it's like a how to play in 60 seconds, that would help me decide so much faster than just like trying to look up Amazon reviews or something like that. Because YouTube is the world's 2nd largest search engine, and having a database of like this ever expanding library of board games, and you'd have all these companies like that would want to send you stuff for free. Oh.
And this might be something I may not want to do alone. So you guys might hear a little bit about this at a later time. And there's a product that I have planned to go along with it that I will pitch to you guys at a later time, because I think it might be both up both your alleys. So.
You had me at alleys.
I've heard. I don't know what that means. How about you guys? What second YouTube channel?
I would like to do it's one of 2 things. Either a space-related channel.
That'd be awesome.
Or it could be tied in, or it's very close to maybe like a travel channel. Kind of like your 1 minute review thing, like on different destinations and stuff. Because my wife and I are currently looking for a trip to celebrate our 20th anniversary, which is this year. And we're considering going to Iceland. So there's like so much. How do you even like distill a country down into 10 days? Like what do you do? There's so many options, and time of year makes a big difference. And and all that sort of stuff. And like, how many waterfalls can you look at before they all look the same? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just like a lot of things. But yeah, either a space related one, which I could definitely. There are a lot of them out there, and I guess that's not really a reason for me not to do it. But I definitely enjoy like space related stuff and traveling. So maybe a combination there.
That would be cool. I actually have a second channel. I mean, we talked about this before, but I actually started my first YouTube channel back in 2009. And over the years, I've had a couple YouTube channels, but one of the ones that I enjoyed the most, that's still on YouTube, like I still respond to comments and things like that, is a channel called Mind Sponge. And I did science education videos focusing on answering weird why questions, like why is the tennis ball fuzzy? Why do we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game during the 7th inning stretch? Why? Answering those questions. But formatting it in a way where I go out and interview people to see what they think the answer to these questions are. And then I talk about the science or the history around, the answer to each of those questions. I had so much fun working on that channel and those videos. I actually put together a Kickstarter to try and expand the capabilities of my channel and hire somebody else and stuff like that. Failed miserably. But if I wouldn't start a second channel so much as go back and like reignite the fire under my channel that's already in existence.
I think that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love science education. It's
every now
stuff.
and then I'll go on like watching like 5 episodes of Veritasium or or what's the other one with the guy with the glasses and the beard?
The guy with the glasses and the beard.
Bald head.
Oh, him? I don't watch him. The British guy?
I don't remember if he's British. He might be British.
Yeah, I don't watch him. I know who you're talking
science
about.
channel.
Yeah.
Quick, but I like the question and answer stuff, or just there's an interesting question that they're attempting to answer, and I always like looking at the process of how they get from A to B.
Yeah, I think like in my hard drive somewhere, there's still an entire episode of Why Do Witches Ride Broomsticks that I like is completely done, but I never released. So yeah, that's my answer. Next.
Actually, maybe that's a good segue to another question we had. How often have you gone back and finished an unfinished project? If ever. Maybe that's not a good question.
Well, most recently I did. When I did my Marvel Snow Globe, I had the components. I had the action figures for my Snow Globe since Avengers Infinity War came out, so several years ago.
I think it qualifies.
Yeah, I think so. I figure once I buy a part of a project, it's in progress at that point, at least a little bit. So I have a lot of parts of projects I've never started. But do I have more that I have started than I haven't started? I don't know. When we did those, the 1 month of videos, a lot of those were older video ideas that I kind of harvested to make quick videos out of. So that's probably the most amount of videos where I pulled older ideas forward to like back burner stuff, which I'm glad we did, because a lot of them were like just bugging me for years. Like, hey, like in the back of my mind, like, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. You have the parts to do these things. And I'm glad we did them. I kind of want to do it again, even though it was not a successful thing for my channel. At this point, I don't really care. It was kind of fun. So can't get any worse, right?
I'd probably do it again.
I don't think I've gone back and finished a project that was so-called unfinished before, but I'm planning on doing it. There was a project last summer, which is a double-sided back scratcher for a very specific reason. And I finally have the carving bits that I think I need. I'm gonna try to attempt to finish it for this upcoming Father's Day.
Gosh, I remember how long it took me to get that the last time you talked about that. I was like, oh gosh.
So I'm hoping like I can actually finish it and give it to my dad for Father's Day this June.
Oh, that'll be a cool present.
I'm not going to give him any context or warning. I'm going to hand it to him. He's going to know exactly why it's that way. And I'm intentionally being kind of vague about it because it's the shock. Well, I don't know how much of a shock it is, but I wanted to have a little bit of a surprise.
In the thumbnail, you got to be like,
I'll do something from the thumbnail that I wouldn't usually do.
So, what was the question? I forgot. Was the scratcher threw me off?
It was an unfinished project.
Oh,
You've gone back and finished.
I don't finish unfinished projects. I use them as inspiration to do another project.
So you don't look back, you just keep moving forward.
It's so terrible because there's so much unfinished crap in my shop. But it's like I made a map of I made a tool cabinet for all of my hand tools, and I hand cut mortise and tenon joints and dovetails, and like took me so long. And I painted the map of Hyrule on the covers of this cabinet, which is literally still hanging in my garage, but I never finished it because the wood warped, and so the doors don't close. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be so much work to try and go back and level everything out. And so I just scrapped the project. I still have it, but I never finished it. But I used that as motivation to do a completely different cabinet, God of War style. And so, oh my gosh, I'm working on that too. I just bought a whole bunch of cherry hardwood lumber to start building my God of War hand tool cabinet to replace the Legend of Zelda hand tool cabinet that I never finished. So I have this terrible tendency of not finishing projects, but using those as inspiration to make other projects that I may or may not finish. But I'm not very good at this, guys. Maybe if I'd finished the project, I would put out more content and I would be performing better.
Here's another
Do you
question.
guys collect anything? Oh,
Did it again. Yes, that's the one I was going to do. Name 3 things that you collect. 3 series of things. If you can think of that many.
I'm trying to narrow it down to 3.
Yeah, I'll go first. And most of them people have heard of that or know that I collect them. Animation cells. I love collecting animation cells. Like I tend to focus on stuff that was around when the Disney Afternoon time frame. I like focusing in on the DuckTales and Rescue Rangers, that sort of thing. But I do have a couple that lie outside the realm of those Disney properties. But I don't really have any other artwork that I put up on the walls, but art cells. I don't know. It's just because I like it because it's like a snapshot of some of my favorite media, and it's like literally made from it. It's just I can't get any cooler than that. Like that's really neat to me. The other thing I collect classic Nintendo games and consoles, and you guys knew that. And I also one collection I can't do anymore because they discontinued them, but for a long time I did it when I was in the Navy, and a couple years afterwards, anytime we went to a city that had a Hard Rock, most people would buy like a Hard Rock shirt, but they had these little stuffed bears where they would embroider the name of the city on their chest, and then they would have sometimes like a flag from the country they're in or some other variant of them. And so I have probably 20 or 30 stuffed bears, and they're pretty small. They're maybe 6 to 8 inches tall. They're kind of you might have seen them in the stairwell, but when you guys came to my house. But I have them from like Rome and Paris and a whole bunch of other places from different travels. They discontinued them. They don't do those anymore, which is a bummer, because it was kind of a neat thing. Like, oh, we're in this one city. Is there a Hard Rock anywhere? And we just kind of have that as a neat little collectible. But yeah, those are my three. Donovan?
So I limiting it to three.
Yeah.
I collect anything. I love Snoopy. And so I have a huge collection of Peanuts characters and toys and books and comics, and like anything Snoopy is just an automatic win for me.
I don't think I knew that. I don't think you mentioned it before.
Yeah. Well, because like I guess it's never been brought up, but yeah, I do. I love Snoopy and Peanuts and stuff like that. My room in my parents' house when I first moved back from Taiwan, I lived with them for a little while before I went to college. And in my room, what I did is that I drew a border around the entire room and did comic panels. And then above the border, I drew murals from different scenes from Peanuts cartoons. And I'll share pictures on Instagram one of these days of my room. But what I would do is that anytime anybody would come over to visit or hang out or anything like that, I would have them draw and paint their own cell in this border around the room of their favorite Peanuts character. And so I had this collection of different people's drawings or paintings or whatever of Peanuts characters, lining my room, because I thought that was a really cool and personal thing to do. So like anything Snoopy is for one. Another is I have a really huge collection of McDonald's toys from when I was a kid.
Nice.
Like from the time I was a little kid up until probably older than I probably should have been to still doing. I mean, we wouldn't even like buy the Happy Meals most of the time. We would just go and see if we could like just buy the toys. Because a lot of them were based on like Disney movies and things like that. And so we have a massive collection of like just years and years and years of all the like the Rescue Rangers toys and Land Before Time and like just a ton. Eureka's Castle. My 3-year-old and I got out the Eureka's Castle puppets and like started playing with those. Just really cool. Like I don't collect them now, but I did collect them when I was younger. But as far as
valuable collection,
probably, and
they used
like
to be a lot better back then, like the quality of them and like the engineering behind them and just the novelty.
Oh yeah, specifically the Rescue Rangers ones, Rangers ones where you can like switch out the different pieces of the helicopters and the planes. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, it's just so cool.
Yeah, they actually seem like toys.
Yeah, there's still a lot I actually haven't opened yet. Cool. So. I don't think I'm ever going to sell them. But currently, like, The Little Prince is my favorite book in the world. Like, it's one of those, like, core memory defining moments. Like, I remember reading The Little Prince for the first time and, how I felt closing that book. And all I could think was, like, whoa, because of how good that book was. And so ever since that moment, like, I have extra copies of the book that I give out to people who haven't read the book, but I also collect copies of the book in any foreign language that I can get my hands on. So anybody that I meet or can find that is going to like a different country or that lives in a different country, I ask them if they can pick me up a copy of The Little Prince in that language or from that region or anything like that. And so I have a little collection of the Little Prince books in various languages that I adore. I can't read them, but I just like having them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a kind of an overarching collection. I kind of hop all over the place, whether it's, action figures, which was a big thing for one time, magic cards, baseball cards. I don't know what else I'm into at the moment. Maybe Lego just a little bit. I don't have any like overarching thing I've collected for like a really long period of time. It always kind of bounces around based on an interest at that point. Like the He-Man Netflix show came out. So I was really into trying to get all the figures for that show because I thought the figures were really cool. I ended up buying all of them, didn't like all of them, so I sold half of them and just kept the ones I wanted. So it's it's always this fluid thing with the collections that I have, and trying to balance just not having too much stuff. So it's always kind of like this rotating thing of whatever is in my interest at that time, or preview, and I kind of rotate it out. So I don't, I collect a lot of different things, but I don't think I have like one thing that I would say I'm a collector of. Unfortunately, it's constantly changing.
I get that.
Yeah.
Especially having kids now, I get that.
Yeah. Actually, they have very little impact on that, but no, this is kind of me.
Well, it's more of a this is why we can't have nice things kind of. I get that.
I just lock them out of the office and it's fine. So what are you guys geeking out about this week?
I'm geeking out about Star Trek Picard a little bit. The show is doing some interesting things. I'm enjoying it. Discovery ended last week. It was okay. It was better than the previous seasons. What else? Oh, my son has a online gaming buddy now for the first time, as a couple weeks ago, but I had never mentioned it before, I don't think. So there was a person that we met at Workbench Con. Her son is the same age as my son, and they're both super into Nintendo and Mario stuff. And they've been doing Apple. I'm not an Apple guy. What's the Apple video calling?
FaceTime.
FaceTime. Thank you. I've never into Apple thing. They do FaceTime together, and while they're playing Switch games, so they'll set up the little camera, and they've played Mario Kart together, and they just got Smash Brothers, and he's playing my copy of Smash Brothers, and so they're like playing with each other on there, and it's kind of neat to see that interaction, and it's somewhat managed. There's not like random kids or anything like that, which Nintendo's properties are already very. Most of them are online friendly as far as like you can't send messages and stuff like that. So that's part of the reason we have to use an external device and stuff to do the video and the communication part of it. But it's really cool to see them do it. And they'll go up there for hours and play games when they finish their homework responsibly. But it just reminds me of, it doesn't remind me of in my childhood because we didn't have that back then. But it just reminded me of times when I was in the military, and I would spend many hours playing StarCraft with a crappy modem connection with a buddy of mine. We basically would do the same thing across the barracks, but just kind of having like a really close friend. And they've never met in person. Maybe someday they will. That'd be kind of neat to have. He lives in Florida, so it's not a super convenient trip, but sometime. It might be a kind of cool thing to see foster over the years. So it's kind of cool.
It's so funny. I remember being a little kid and my parents taking me to the Epcot Center and going up and was it called World of Tomorrow or Worlds of Tomorrow? I've got Futurama stuck in my head. It's like, welcome to the world of tomorrow. But like there was part of the ride where you had two kids. One was in like Japan, or like one was this is all animatronic, so it wasn't like actual kids. But they were talking to each other like through a TV. I'm like, can you imagine that? Like that's crazy. That's great. That's never gonna happen. Now we do it all the time. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing. I'm geeking out about my pants, which is a sentence I never thought I would ever say, because I have a love-hate relationship with pants, because I want to love them, but I always hate them, or I always destroy them because they're not very good. But talking about Workbench Con, while we were at Workbench Con, I've had a few ladies that are in the makerspace that keep talking to me about these pants called dovetail pants that are work pants by women for women.
That's what that was all about online?
That's what that was all about online. Because there's this company called Dovetail Workwear that make specialty work pants for women. But it turns out there are several guys in the making community that wear these pants. It's called the Lady Pants Club. I am now a member of the Lady Pants Club because I bought a pair of these pants, and holy crap, they are amazing. Like,
Do you have stickers being made?
I I have never loved a pair of pants, but it was so awkward because, like, I shared this on social media. It was like that scene from the IT Crowd where Moss wants to go buy a pair of lady slacks to try and give him more confidence, and he's like he's in the store, and he's like, "I'm here on purpose," and the lady behind the counter is like, "Yes, okay." He's like, I want to buy a pair of women's slacks for me, not a woman. Yes, I think we can help with that. And it's so funny because it's so true. Like, trying to buy a pair of women's pants, being a dude, but I cannot recommend these pants enough. I had to figure out what size I was in women's because their numbers are arbitrary and just weird. But I got my pair of pants a few days ago, and I have not been able to take them off. It's terrible how much
Because
I like
they're that tight?
Huh?
Never mind.
I look fabulous in them. You have no idea. So I'm geeking out about my pants.
All right, well, I have 3 things on my geeking out list, but I think I'm going to save the other 2 for a later time. I'm geeking out about a game that got announced, which is Hogwarts Legacy. It got announced for the PS5, the long-awaited, I guess, Wizarding World game, I guess is a way to describe it. And it makes me long for more effective VR, because I just want to basically live in that world and walk around. But the game looks really cool, looks really compelling. I'm hoping they don't kill it with microtransactions, which we're not really entirely sure about yet. But if you're into the Harry Potter world, I think it's at least cool enough to check out the trailer for. It's coming out for PS5, which is kind of a bummer. I don't know if it's coming out to other systems, because that means that your investment is like $700 now, because the game plus the system, if you can find one.
If you can find the system.
If you can find one, which means I probably won't even end up playing the game, because I don't really play consoles anymore. But I like that it exists. Maybe I'll get to mess around with it one day. And yeah, that's what I'm geeking out about.
Do you guys play Borderlands at all?
I have, not in a long time
I
though.
have. I lost interest pretty fast.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland is coming out tomorrow, and I'm wondering if anybody else is going to play it.
Nope.
So that's a no.
Pass.
That's a no on that front. Okay. I'll let you know.
Besides the fact I never buy new games.
I have Borderlands 2. I have Borderlands 1.
I own all of them. I haven't played them.
The shtick kind of wears on me after a while. Like, just the comedic sensibilities. It just kind of, I don't know. It's not funny for long enough for me to stay interested. And it's heavy usually in that kind of feel. And it's just, I don't know. I get bored with just shooting stuff in games now. Yeah. And need more. Yeah. Speaking of, I don't have really good
shooting things.
And I don't have a really good transition for that. If you would have become a Patreon member over at patreon.com/makinggeeks, you can complain about games you don't play with enough too. One of the perks is our Discord channel among the perks. Another one is our different selections of servers for video games, such as Valheim and various Minecraft servers that we put up from time to time and have different events. Lots of cool interactions and hanging out on there, including hanging out with our top patrons, Jordan, Square Splinter, and Clinton from C3D Prop Shop. Thank you guys so much for your contributions. We appreciate each and every one of you.
And we like doing these Q&As from time to time. They are fun to answer your guys' questions that you put out for us. But if you have questions for us individually, or maybe questions that you want us to answer here on the podcast, you can reach out to us individually. Wes, you can find over at Geeksmithing. Sean, you can find at Geek Builders. And myself, you can find at Once Upon a Workbench.
And if you mosey on over to our website, makinggeeks.com, you can put in any questions in the chat page, or chat page. Any questions you have for us to answer on the show, any topic ideas, which are always in search of and appreciate, or just any other suggestions for the show. You can listen to all of our past episodes right there in the browser. And be sure to check out the shop where we have some Making Geeks themed merchandise for you to peruse and possibly buy. Well, we'd like to thank you. It's like, you try that again.
We'd like to thank you for joining us tonight on our podcast.
Yep. Especially everybody else hanging out in the live chat with us. Sometimes we shout out to the chat and don't really provide context on the show, but that's just just kind of like standard fare around here. But if you'd like to join the live chat and be part of the fun, you could do so every Thursday night about 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 East Coast time,
Yep.
And 7:30 Central. Did I get it that time?
8:30, but you're good.
8:30.
Yeah.
You guys can do the math, and it's somewhere in there. And you can find new episodes of the show every Saturday morning on your favorite podcast player of choice. If you have a couple of minutes, go on over to whatever podcast service you use and leave a comment on the show, which also helps the visibility and gets it to more people. So from all of us to all of you, have a great week.
See ya.
Later.